Now then guys, how you doing? I'm Craig and thank you for joining me again, as today we're going to rebuild Valencia over 3 seasons. Now they are in some trouble, sat towards the bottom end of the table, equal on points with 2 teams out of the bottom 3 and only goal difference keeping them out of those relegation places. Peter Lim has basically destroyed this club. That's what I'm reading and that's what I'm seeing from the fans. They're not happy about the way the club is being ran. So today, can I save them in 3 seasons? So before we do that, if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try and get 2 rebuilds out a week at the moment. So yes, make sure you hop along for the ride. Right, so here we go then guys, on the club info screen. Valencia founded in 1919, media prediction is 9th. And when we look at the club history, they've not had a great time in the league recently. The last time they won the league was in 2003-2004, they got a first place finish. And last season they ended up finishing in 9th place, which was an improvement from 13th place the season before. But we're not happy about that. The last won the Spanish Cup in 2019 and the Spanish Super Cup in 1999. So that Spanish League Cup in 2019, there is a bit of recent silverware in there. So we need to just work on getting win-aways back and developing that squad. But it's all about the finances. So we've got £1.7 million in the transfer budget. 50% of the transfer revenue is being made available. Wage budget, we're currently spending 526k, so just over £500,000 a week on wages. And the wage budget is 517k. So debt and loan wise then, we've got £120 million worth of debt. The club chairperson loan is currently at £50 million. It was originally 86. Now, that's not going to be paid off until 2029 apparently. So a couple of seasons time, we've got a state loan which we still owe £3.4 million. Big thing is, do we just moneyball this? Do we try and get ourselves into those top 4 places, get some Champions League football and really push it on from there? Like I say, I'm only going to be doing 3 seasons. That's the big thing. So at the end of 3 seasons, I would like to be established in the European places and leave the club in a better financial position. If you can win some silverware in that time, that will be fantastic. But when we look at the development centre, where it looks like we're going to need to promote some players because we don't have the finances to be able to really get on with it unless we can get some free transfers in. Christian Mosquera is our main man in the Valencia B team, so the Mestalla. So he's an 18-year-old Spaniard, currently valued up to £9.2 million centre-back. Heading, mark and tackling, all 12. That strength of 12 as well. Acceleration and pace, 11 and 10. So it's not a bad player at all, but I think that may be the way we have to go. When we look at the squad, so at the wages, who's our biggest wage outgoing? Gabriel Paulista is currently being paid 78k per week, valued at £30 million. 31-year-old centre-back, not bad at all. And Jose Gaya is the most valuable player at the club, currently valued at £48 million. Now he is, mid-description, is a fullback, he's a star player at the club. Tactically, it's like if I'm going to play 5 at the back, 2 complete wing backs within there. I've gone for the libero. Nothing set up yet. I haven't had enough time to look at the team. But yeah, realistically, I want to be playing 5 at the back, 2 up front, an attacker midfielder with 2 deeper line midfielders as well. Probably the tiki-taka, that's got to be the way to go in Spain, hasn't it? And we'll look at that mentality once I've got the squad set up before the start of the season. Club vision-wise then, the actionable objectives at the side players to sell for a profit, like I say, Moneyball there, work within the wage budget, we need to get that sorted. Current season is to record a first division top flight finish, we'll go for that. Reach the latter stages of the Spanish Cup and be competitive in the Super Cup. Work towards being sustainable is the big thing. What about the supporters? What are they after? They want us to be competitive against Real Madrid. Good luck. Get the better of our rivals, Levante, if we happen to play against them, and to qualify for the Europa Conference League. That has got to be the way to go. So looking at the rules of the competition then, the top 7 places get European football. The Europa Conference League gets a 7th place finish. From 6th and 5th gets Europa League football, and then 1st to 4th. Dependent on obviously cup wins and whatnot, you know, we could miss out on our 4th place if another team within the league win the Europa League. The real aim for me is to get into the top 7, get European football next season and to generate some additional income. And then finally, like I say, competitions for this season. We've got the Spanish La Liga, the Copa del Rey and the Super Cup, where we're actually playing in the semi-final against Real Madrid. So right, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to work forward to the start of the first season, maybe get some ins and outs, save a bit of money and start chipping away at this debt. Right then guys, so season 1 has already started. We've actually played our first game. We won against Espanyol, you can see up there, 2-0. We take on Atletico Pamplona, top of the league, in the next game. I just had to move that one game into the season, so I wanted to get a deal over the line, and I've managed to get it done. So first of all, let's look at the finances. So finances wise, got nothing left. That 50% of transfer revenue has killed us going through this transfer window. However, I have spent some money. I needed to do it to strengthen. I couldn't really find the free transfers. So one player in. Wage budget wise, 575k. We're currently spending 570. I've adjusted a little bit there to balance it out as well. So leaving us then, the first player out the door was Christian Rivero. He has gone off to Real Sociedad. He stayed in Spain. £1 million we let him go for. He was our third choice keeper. So let's just save those pennies. Another one of my goalkeepers could have potentially have been first choice. Juan Dominic, he has gone off to the UAE. He's gone off to Al Ain for £3.1 million. Now, he's played one time already, conceded 2 goals, spent plenty of time with us before we let him go. Now, one of the better players of the club, Mukhtar Diakabi, he has gone off to Aston Villa for £15 million after we spent £13.25 million on him. He's played a fair few games for us, but I needed the money. I say I needed the money. I only got 50% of that transfer anyway. But yes, he goes off to Aston Villa. And then Marcus Andre has gone off to Brentford. Striker, 25-year-old Brazilian. We bought him for £7.25 million last season. He only scored 1 goal in 29 games. We've let him go for £4 million to Brentford, where he's played 2 times in the Premier League already. So one player joining us is Sebastian Barniau. Now, he joins us from Wolfsburg for £5.5 million, where they actually spent 11.5 on him. He played 27 games for them last season, scoring 1 goal. And this guy, for me, is going to fit straight into my back 4 at centre-back. 23-year-old, 2 caps for Belgium already. Heading 16, marking 14, tackling 13. That jump and reach is 17 as well. Strength 16. This guy's got everything I want, and he's currently valued at £12 million already. So tactically then, this is likely how we're going to line up. So I've changed it to a 4-3-3. Pre-season was shocking for us playing 5 at the back. So yeah, I went to 4-3-3. We won that first game of the season. I'm going to stick with it. So we've got Mamadashvili in goal, Gaia Barnau, Gabriel Palista and Rendell Carrera at the back, with Nico in the holding role, Mariba and Almeida in the middle, with Lino and Kluivert outside, and then Cavani up front. Quality starting 11, that certainly good enough to be pushing for those top 7 places. So competitions wise then, like I said earlier on, we've got La Liga, the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup. Now, what is the expectation for this season? So the season preview wise then, we're expecting a 9th place finish, 100-1 to win the league. And we've got no players in the Media Dream 11. What was the biggest transfer fee of this summer? Diakabi going to Aston Villa for £15 million. Not a lot more done with the deals. And then schedule wise, and like I say, we had an absolute shocking pre-season, losing all 3 of our friendlies. We start off with games against Pamplona, Real Sociedad, Vallecano, Girona and Cadiz. All winnable games there. Realistically, all the way to Sevilla on the 9th of October, we should be picking up maximum points. I'd like not to drop anything there. So yes, what we're going to do is we're going to move forward to the end of Season 1. Well, like I say, fingers crossed we get into sort of European football places. Right, so there we go then, guys. The season is over and we end up finishing in 2nd place. 13 points behind Real Madrid and 8 points behind Atletico Madrid in 3rd place. Not bad going at all, that, as we've outperformed all expectations. When we look at the league in all its glory, we played 38 times, 25 wins, 7 draws, 6 losses, 74 goals scored, 31 conceded, plus 43 goal difference, 82 points on the board, losing 1 of our last 5 games. Past positions wise then, we were actually up in top spot for the first half of the season before dropping down into 2nd spot on match day 19, where we actually lost 1-0 to Real Madrid, and then we sat in 2nd spot for the rest of the season. So competitions wise then, obviously we've got Champions League football coming next season. We were knocked out in the 4th round of the Copa del Rey by Almeria, and we lost in extra time, which is not good at all. 110th minute goal there from Luis Suarez, getting them the victory. But we did win the Super Cup with a 2-1 victory over Barcelona. Edison Cavani with a goal on 83 minutes to seal it for us. 15 shots, 4 on target, 42% possession. But it's not all about how much of the ball you have, it's what you can do with it when you've got it. So finances then for Season 2, it's not looking good. As you can see there, that overall balance is declining as the season goes on. The transfer budget for next season is 2.7 million, and we're going to get 50% of transfer revenue being made available to us. Wage budget wise though is 679k, and we're currently spending 612. So I'm happy with how it's looking. It's going to be free transfers again by the look of it. And then finally look at the player stats. So the top goal scorer was Edison Cavani with 32. How does that compare to everybody else? So Cavani was actually the top goal scorer in the league this season with 28. Luis Suarez of Almeria with 26. Cavani also had the highest average rate at a 7.42. Gaya had the most assists with 19. Best pass completion was Paulista with 92. Most player of the match awards was Cavani with 11. Most yellow cards was Randall Carrera with 13. Most red cards was Kluivert and Mariba with 1 apiece. And then when we look at the team stats, so we scored 74, which is the second best, and we conceded 31, which is the second best. So, you know, we've done enough to finish in that second place. It's well deserved. Yellow cards wise, 81, which is the second worst. And 2 red cards, which was the 6th best. And the average attendance at the Mestalla was 42,000, which is the 6th best in the league. So there we go then, guys. No money to spend in this upcoming transfer window, but we have got Champions League football next season. And I want it to be established in that top 4, and we've got there in the first season, but can we stay there for the next 2? So season 2 then, and I've had to wheel and deal as our transfer budget didn't increase over the summer. So yes, lots of free transfers joining us. There was talk of a takeover. We just have a look. It's now on the rocks, as you can see there. Valencia takeover on the rocks. Discussions regarding Valencia's takeover are rumoured to be going badly. So there was an opportunity for us to maybe offset all of that debt with a takeover, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So talking about the debt and the finances, then we've currently got £59 million in the overall balance. The transfer budget is 1.9 million and the wage budget at 719k, but I'm currently spending 684. When we look at debt and loans then, we're now down to £68 million net debt. That transfer debt of 19.7 million. And then players that have left us, several fringe players have gone. Vicente Escoredo, he goes off to Alaves for 200k. George Saenz, he goes off to Nantes for 575k. So fringe players leaving the club. But we have strengthened nicely with the first player coming through with doors, a 23-year-old Dutchman, Jan-Paul van Heck. He joins us from Blackburn, obviously in the Championship. He played 31 times, 2 goals, 2 assists last season. Now this is going to be a bit of a step up for him, but attributes-wise, he looks good with heading 15, marking 15, tackling 17, that strength there 15, jump and read 16. If he develops, he's going to turn into one hell of a player. The next player through the door was a 28-year-old Algerian international, 52 caps for Algeria, Rami Bensabayani. That's a pronunciation, isn't it? He joins us from Borussia Mönchengladbach after he played 21 times last season in the Bundesliga, 1 goal, 2 assists. Very good player, those attributes, solid, can play out on that left-hand side as well as a central defender. Heading 16, penalty taking 16 as well. You know, loves the penalty, determination 16, stamina 16. 28 years old, he's still got plenty more to give. And then I've brought in a Spanish international, only 1 cap, but Denis Suarez joins us. 29-year-old he is now, and he joins us from Espanyol on a free. He didn't actually play a game last season. He was good for Vigo, but yeah, I hope that's not a sign of things to come for us. But he can play right behind the striker or out on the left-hand side convincingly. He's valued up to £39 million, and like I say, a free transfer, so a bit of money ball going on there. First touch 16, passing 16, technique 16, that vision and teamwork as well. I'm expecting big things this season. And then a man who's going to try and dethrone Cavani as the number 9 is Belotti. He's obviously got the number 9 shirt, but it's likely that Cavani is going to play for the majority of the season. But Andrea Belotti joins us on a free transfer after joining us from Roma, where he played 17 times and scored 3 goals in Serie A last season. But yeah, valued up to £28 million. Belotti's an absolute tank. Media description striker, he likes to move into channels, likes to try and beat the offside trap, and attempts overhead kicks. Can't see too many of them happening this season. But yeah, Belotti comes in to challenge Cavani for that number 9. So from the squad dynamics, and I've got 3 players as supporters, 2 players as pausers. Kobaline and Dario, both not a fan of us. They want new contracts, and they're actually in talks with that. But Cavani, Banao and Almeida, they're on my side. Club vision wise for this season, then they expect us to reach the knockout stages of the Champions League, qualify for the Champions League again, reach the latter stages of the Copa del Rey, and be competitive in the Super Cup. And as you can see up there, board alert, takeover is in progress, so it's on the rocks, but you never know. And then from the supporters, be competitive against Real Madrid and finish above Levante in the league. So competitions wise then, we've always got La Liga, the Champions League, the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup. What is the expectation for this season? Then so season preview wise, we're expected the 4th place finish now. Real Madrid, favourites to win the league. We've got no players in that Media Dream 11, that doesn't worry me so much. As you'll see there, Thomas Tuchel has gone to Atletico Madrid, and Marcelo Gallardo has gone from River Plate to Barcelona. Very good manager, highly rated. And then finally, looking at the fixtures, we start with games against Elche, Espanyol, Sevilla, Getafe and Atletico Madrid. Opportunity for us there. We don't take on Barcelona until the 22nd of October, and then Real Madrid on the 12th of November. So there's an opportunity for us to go again. Can we finish in that top 4? Right guys, so we come in at the end of Season 2, and as you can see, top middle of the screen, Valencia versus Manchester United in the Europa League final. Erik ten Hag still in charge at United, and we're playing at the Aviva Stadium. So we're just going to move forward. Before we even talk about our league performance, let's just skip forward, go on holiday for the one day and see what happens, where at the end of this, could we be Europa League champions? Be absolutely massive for us. As with fingers crossed, we're going in for the win as we win on penalties. I'll take it, you know, 16 shots, 4 on target, 46% possession, 0-0 at full time, 4-3 on penalties. Anthony sent off on 75 minutes, straight red as well, as Bruno Fernandes and Varane missed the penalties for Manchester United, and we score all 4 of ours. So there we go, 2 seasons in, and we've won the Europa League. So as you can see there at the league table, we ended up finishing in 4th place, 80 points on the board, Real Sociedad in 3rd, Barcelona and Real Madrid tied on 97 points, and by the look of it, on the last game of the season, Real Madrid have pipped Barcelona. So looking at the league table overall, then 38 games played, 24 wins, 8 draws, 6 defeats, 66 goals scored, 32 conceded, plus 34 goal difference, and like I say, a point behind Real Sociedad. 80 points this season. What was it last season? 82 points, which got us 2nd place last season. Nowhere near this time round. And when we look at the past positions, Valencia then, we've minced about in 3rd and 4th place for the majority of the season. But what about Barcelona? Top spot until the final game of the season. Well, Real Madrid take it. They actually beat Barcelona 5-3 in that final game. So what about other competitions? 4th place in the league. We end up crashing out 3rd place in the Champions League in a group that we really should have got out of. But it doesn't matter, because that takes us on to winning the Europa League with that penalty victory over Manchester United. In the Spanish Cup, we're knocked out in the quarter-final by Real Madrid. And in the Spanish Super Cup, we're knocked out in the semi-final by Real Madrid as well. So they've had our number. What's that meant for finances then? So we have £21 million to play with next season. 50% of transfer revenue being made available. But it's all about the overall balance. We've still got £54 million at the end of the season. It just goes to show what difference our Champions League places make. And then debt and loans wise, we're now down to £58 million. So squad wise then, you can see that Edison Cavani was a top goal scorer with 22 goals this season. High service rating was Rendell Carrera with a 7.16. Most assists, Gale with 12. Best pass completion, Van Heck with 92%. Most player of the match awards was Rendell Carrera with 7. Most yellow cards, Rendell Carrera with 15. And most red cards, 2 red cards for Benzbiani. But then when we look at the team stats, you can see there, goals scored 66, which is the 5th best. Goals conceded 32, which is the 3rd best. Yellow cards 67, which is the 5th worst. And 1 red card, which is the 5th best. And we had the 5th best average attendance again. So that is it, Season 2 down. But we've got a bit of European silverware. So yes, we're going into that 3rd and final season where it looks like we've got a little bit of money to play with, but the majority of it is going to be free transfers again. So it's our final season in charge of Valencia then, and we've actually spent a bit of money this time round. First of all, we're going to look at those finances, as we've got £1.9 million left in the transfer budget. 50% of income and transfers is absolutely killing us, if I'm honest. We've made some sales, it's not done too much, but overall balance is £100 million, and more important than that, debt and loans to £6.9 million. I'll definitely take that. As Peter Lim has left the club, we've got a new chairman now in Carlos Miguel. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing now. So finances wise, we're still not there. Like I say, 50% of transfer revenue being made available doesn't really matter. We're only just over the wage budget, spending 2k more, but overall we're in a very good financial position. Transfers wise then, players leaving us. Araya Comert has gone off to Rennes for £5 million. He was actually out on loan last season to Real Betis. He played 33 times in the Spanish 2nd Division. So, yeah, a good deal for us to get £5 million for him. And Dimitri Folkier, he goes off to Real Betis for £5 million. Last season he played 16 times for us. coming towards the end of his career at 31-year-old. Happy to get that kind of money for him. And one of my youngsters who I promoted to the first team last season, Dario, goes to Dusseldorf for 2.5 million. Actually played 21 times for his last season, but only got a 6.66 rating. And then joining us, the first player through the door is Nathan Nandez. He joins us from Cagliari on a free transfer. Played 33 times in Serie A last season. 2 goals, 3 assists. Very good player. Solid mental attributes. Can play central midfielder. Can also play at right back. You know, well, I'm not quite sure. He's got that versatility though, so I can play him in several positions. Max Sarens, massive signing for us, joins on a free transfer. 24-year-old Englishman coming in at right back. Free transfer from Norwich. He played 37 times last season in the Premier League, scoring 1 goal with 2 assists. But looking at that pace and acceleration of 15 apiece, crossing could be better at 10, but that dribbling 14. We'll see plenty of him this season, I'm sure. Antonio Blanco joins us from Real Madrid. Got 1 cap for Spain already, and we got him on a free transfer. He actually played in their B team last season, playing 41 times, 3 goals, 8 assists. Solid player, a 24-year-old, and someone I hope will develop nicely. And then I spent £17.5 million on Javero Dilrosun. So he joins us from Feyenoord. Last season played 30 times in the Eredivisie, 1 goal, 4 assists, a 6.7 rating. And he can play out on the attack and midfield, right and left positions. Acceleration 17, pace 16, that crossing 15 and dribbling 17. 1 cap for Holland already, and I'm expecting plenty more. And then the absolute stonks is Maxi Gomez rejoins the club for £15 million. Now that is £5 million with 10 million add-ons, so we've only paid £5 million up front this season. So look at this for the art of the deal. We get 1.3 million up front and then 2.5 million in installments for buying Maxi Gomez back. Those pre-arranged deals, incredible for us. So the reason we've had to go for Maxi Gomez is because our top scorer for the last 2 seasons, Cavani, has retired. Certainly not going to be a good as coach looking at this as he was a player. So tactics wise then, this looks like it's going to be my starting 11 with Mamadashvili in goal, Gea, Barneo, Van Heck and Randall Carrera at the back, with Hugo in that defensive role, Nandez and Musa in the middle, with Suarez and Dilrosun out wide, and then Gomez up front. We're going to be playing that tiki-taka tactical style on a positive mentality. So what about competitions wise then? Obviously we've got La Liga, the Champions League, the Super Cup coming up next against PSG, the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup. So plenty of cup competitions this season. What is the expectation though in the domestic league? So let's have a look at the season preview. We're expected a 4th place finish. No players in that Media Dream 11. Controversially, Jose Mourinho going to take over Atletico Madrid. The Real Madrid fans are going to be raging about that one. What a quality coach though. And the biggest fee of the summer is Endrick joining Real Madrid for £62 million. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Club vision wise then, what is the expectations for this season? So to be competitive in the Champions League, be competitive in the Super Cup, qualify for the Europa League as a bare minimum, reach the latter stages of the Super Cup, reach the latter stages of the Copa del Rey, and be competitive in the Super Cup. Supporters wise, be competitive against Real Madrid, finish above Levante, Villarreal and Sevilla, and qualify for the Europa League. Opportunity there for us. But what we're going to do is we're going to skip forward for 1 day. Like I say, we've got that Super Cup game against PSG and our first opportunity at silverware in our final season. And looking at it then, we finished runner-up as we were smashed 5-0. That's not the greatest start, let's be honest. 3-0 down at half-time. We didn't get a shot on target. Barneo had an absolute shocker on a 5.9. Not meant to be. PSG by far superior. So looking at the pre-season, it hasn't been great. We had a 1-0 victory over AEK. PSG obviously just smashed us 5-0. And we start off with games against Almeria, Getafe, Elche, Granada, and then Real Madrid on the 22nd of September. So our final season, I wanted to become established in the top 4. We've been in the top 4 the last 2 seasons. But can we do it in the 3rd and final season? So the final game of the season, what a whirlwind it's been. And as you can see, we've somehow ended up in the Champions League final against Barcelona in Munich. All Spanish final. Barcelona, as you can see in the league, finished 3 points ahead of us. And yeah, what a journey to the Champions League. So looking at it, as you can see, you know, we've started off, we've lost 1 game all the way through, a 2-1 defeat to Arsenal in that Champions League phase. Before victories against Benfica, Manchester City there. We took on Arsenal, ended up winning 2-1 in the semi-final and on to Barcelona. So yeah, an opportunity to obviously end this save. Unthinkable. Yes, we haven't won the league. We didn't win the La Liga. I didn't expect to. But I didn't expect to get into the Champions League final. So let's just simulate forward 1 day. and we'll just see what happens. You know, if we don't win it, we got to the Champions League final, which, like I say, was never part of the plan within this 3-season rebuild. So come on then, competitions-wise, we end up finishing runner-up. We got beat 3-1. We didn't finish on that high, however, getting to that Champions League final. Lewandowski getting 2 goals in a minute, basically. Gomez getting the goal for us early on 5 minutes, but it just was not meant to be. The goalkeeper taking a knock there as well, and currently in rehab. So yeah, not ideal. We ended on, well, you know, it's a bit of an anticlimax, but we still got to the final, and that's good enough for me. So as you can see then, we ended the season in 3rd place. So mission accomplished as far as it goes for being established. We've been a top 4 team in the 3 seasons I've been in charge. Real Madrid, though, have dominated with 94 points. But we finished on 83 points. That's our highest total of the 3 seasons. Barcelona finishing 3 points clear, and we finished 4 points clear of Celta Vigo on 79. So the full picture then, 38 games played, 25 wins, 8 draws, 5 defeats, 77 goals scored. Look at that, 106 goals from Barcelona, 31 conceded. We drew 2 of our last 5 games. And then when we look at the past positions, how we do it, we're actually up into top spot up until match day 16. Then we drew 1-1 with Villarreal and sat in 3rd place for the rest of it. Did Barcelona bottle it? No, not this season. Real Madrid worthy winners. So competitions wise then, we just touched on it earlier on. Obviously 3rd place in the league, Champions League runners up, Super Cup runners up as well. Obviously we're absolutely smashed by PSG. We were knocked out in the semi-final of the Copa del Rey by Real Madrid. However, we did win the Spanish Super Cup with a 1-0 victory over Real Madrid there. You know, they've been our nemesis all the way through. And Militao missed a penalty on the 95th minute. So yeah, Gaia with a penalty on 63 gets us the victory. And in the Super Cup, we end up winning it 2 out of 3 seasons. So finances wise, and how have I left the club? Well, I've left the club £136 million in the black. We've got £32 million in the transfer budget. That 50% transfer budget, though, not ideal. And the wage budget is now £1.1 million. Debt and loans wise, sorted. Completed it, mate. Absolutely done it. So you'll obviously get the opportunity to carry on this save, and you'll be taking them on debt-free. So how am I leaving the club as far as squad harmony and dynamics goes? Well, I've got 1 player that opposes us. That's Benzibiani. He's not a fan. However, I've now got 6 players that support us. They support me without even taking over a game, as I've not taken on any matches. That's been left to the assistant manager. And then finally, looking at it then, so Maxi Gomez scored 23 goals this season. Absolutely bossing it. Highest average rating was Musa with a 7.13. Most assists was Musa as well with 15. Best pass completion was Gabriel Palista with 92%. Most player of the match awards was Gaia and Gomez with 5 apiece. Most yellow cards was Hugo and Randall Carrera with 14. And Nayatan Nandez got 2 red cards. Looking at the team stats wise, and so team stats, we scored 77 goals, which is the 3rd best. Conceded 31, which is the 3rd best. So again, well-deserved 3rd place. Yellow cards wise, 68, which is the 4th worst. And red cards wise, we had 5, which is the 2nd worst. And an average attendance of 45,000, 5th best once again. Looking at the squad finally then, how did everyone else get on? So Maxi Gomez with 23. Gaia up there with 19 goals, 9 assists. Then is Suarez with 14 and 8. Belotti with 10 and 4, you know, decent average rating from him. And Del Rosen, who we bought in the summer, with 10 goals and 14 assists in all competitions. Very good season from him. What's he now worth? £12 million. The value's not really there, but he's had a very solid season. And then finally then looking at us in competition, so within my 1st season, we won that Spanish Super Cup, getting a 2nd place finish in La Liga. The season after was a 4th place, but we ended up winning the Europa League after getting into the Champions League and dropping out of a group that we really should have been getting out of. And then in the final season, we had a 3rd place finish in La Liga, and we actually won the Spanish Super Cup again, getting to a Champions League final as well, where Barcelona pipped us at that final hurdle. And then looking at the overview, so as you can see, I brought in 15 players for a total of £39 million, sold 27 players for £43 million. We went out and spent big in the final season. We spent £17.5 million on Derilson, like I say, and we got £16 million in for Diakabi. That was in the 1st season. And looking at it there, I spent 96.69% of my time on holiday, leaving the assistant manager in charge, who I would say done a grand job. So there we go then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. A decent rebuild. Thoroughly enjoyed that. They've got a quality squad, I think, Valencia. A good mix of youth and experience. And the plan was always to just become established in a top 4, and that has been achieved. So like I've already touched on previously throughout the video, The link to this save will be down below in the description. Give it a go. You will pick it up from this point forward, the 1st of June 2025. And also, if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, as there's plenty more rebuilds to come. So thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.